is if they have a mortgage, do they have a first mortgage or a second mortgage? You need to know that. And then you'll need to know what their taxes are and the sale price. So once we have all that information, we can pretty much compute it and get the final number. The payoff request form, which I put inside your packet. The second sheet is the title order insurance order form. Now, if you order title insurance through Capital Title, your admin in this office will actually order title insurance for you. So if you click off Capital Title, they'll pretty much order your title insurance for you. The second handout I have here is the payoff request form. Now, you'll need to let us know if your seller has more than one home. So if they have a first and a second, you'll need to fill out 2 of these forms. So make 2 copies of this and let us know which one is for the second. Most importantly, so the information that we're going to need is you're going to have your client sign this document and give it back to us. So you'll need the lender information, the loan number. If you have the lender's contact information, that's great. Or if you can even give us the last statement from the lender, that makes it even easier for us. But most importantly, we used to be able to go by the last 4 digits of their social security number to look up their loan. Now we actually need the entire social security number. So if they have any questions or feel uncomfortable giving you their social security number, they can more than happy just call us and give us their social security number. We can do that for them. But they definitely have to sign this document because this document is what we fax over to the lender. And if it's not signed by the homeowner and if their social security number is not attached to it, they will not provide us information. And most importantly to know about this document is that some lenders are very quick. They can give us a turnaround time and give us their payoff statement within 24 hours or even 48 hours. Others, it takes like a week. So it's very important to give us this information up front, at least, after, I would say no later than they've passed the inspection. And they're going forward with the whole transaction. The other form I have in here is the association information request form. Now, just so you know, if it's a condo, we're always going to need this document. And a lot of people think, well, we should know if there's a homeowners association attached to the property, and we do not as a title company. That's not public record. So you'll have to ask your client, is there an association attached to this property? And they would either say yes. And if they say yes, then this form has to be filled out and turned into us. And what we do is we contact the treasurer of the association and find out how much money is owed on the association, if they're paid up, or if they're in fees that go along with getting an association status letter.
At what stage does that form get
You can give this to us. Actually, all of this can be done right away. But the only thing is sometimes these association status letters, they expire. So if you think this isn't going to close within 30 days or 60 days, then I would hold off on that. But the only bad thing is that a lot of times real estate agents will forget to give it to us.
I see.
So I would just, as the transaction's going and they pass the inspection, then yes, I would start giving us these documents.
Right now I have a deal that's going to appraisal now. And I'm on the buyer's side, and we were waiting for the application to the condo association. Does that happen after this form? Because they told me that the seller told me that the title company is going to provide us with that.
But this form needs to be filled out by the seller first for us.
Right. I'm saying, is this one of the things that would have to be done before they would send my clients the application to the condo association?
Yes. And sometimes there's a fee associated with the association status letter. Capital Title will upfront that fee, and then we will just charge your seller at closing.
I see.
So it's important because if it doesn't pass the inspection or it doesn't pass the appraisal and the deal falls through, we're left paying for that association status letter, and then we will still actually request the money back from your seller, which, hopefully it'll sell the next time we'll have it, but we need that. So those are our upfront fees. So the other fees are that your seller is going to inquire. So we have the payoff, and then there is the city and state transfer taxes. Now to calculate the city and state transfer taxes, we have here to calculate it's 0.0086 of the sale price. So if the sale price was $100,000, it would be $860. And then the other fee would be title insurance. Now, title insurance is charged twice. It's charged once to the buyer and once to the seller. The seller is charged their fee is charged up against their sale price. The buyer's is compared to their mortgage price. Now, everyone always asks, why do they have to pay twice? Well, the seller is actually paying for title insurance so that the buyer is buying property free and clear in title. The buyer is purchasing title insurance so that they let the new lender be first in title. So that's there are two separate things that we're insuring. The buyer is paying for the mortgage company, and the seller is paying for title insurance for the buyer. And then another fee would be the water escrow. Typically, we hold about $300 in a water escrow. So I would tell your sellers in advance, maybe just before, if you could get a final water bill and pay it, and provide a final water bill showing paid stamp to the title company, then that fee won't even be up there. Or they can give us the final water bill unpaid, and we will pay it at closing, and then they don't have it as well. So it's always nice not to even have an extra fee on there. So if you could tell your client, hey, there's going to be a final water bill needed at closing, and you get it to me in advance, and then I can show it to the title company, and because we can't take it off there unless we show that it's actually stamped, paid, and final. The fourth fee would be the broker compliance fee, which is $250, and that is just toward I guess it gets paid towards the office. The $250 is actually for the real estate one office. Now, the number 5, discharge of mortgage fee, we don't actually charge that anymore. We charge something that's called a require fee, which is $45. Now, what we do, we work with another company called Require, and what they do is they make sure that all the mortgages that we pay off are actually discharged and recorded. Because we had so many issues in the past that either banks will either go out of business or they don't ever discharge those mortgages, and those mortgages are still out there. So we want to make sure that we've hired now a company to make sure that all of our mortgages that we are paying off are actually being discharged and recorded. And then number 6, occupancy fee, and that would be for your seller if they decide they're going to stay in the home a little bit longer after closing. Then you would calculate how much per day, and how that is calculated is whatever the buyer's mortgage payment is, that's what you would divide that up into how many days there, and that would be a per day for how much their monthly mortgage would be. And then 7, it would be the home warranty. That is if your seller is purchasing a home warranty for your client or the buyer. It typically priced right now is like $450. So if your seller wants to purchase a home warranty for them, they can add that at that time as well. And there's also seller's concessions too. So buyers can ask for a seller concession. That could be a charge from your seller as well, and you can add that to their net sheet too. But you may not know that until like later on. But if you do know that, then you can add that in there as well. And then tax proration, he has it on here. Closing date. This is a kind of an iffy thing. But if you already know what their taxes, their summer and their winter taxes are, and you have an estimated date of when their closing is, my app can actually calculate the prorations for you. So I'm just going to show you how easy. It seems like there's a lot of numbers to calculate. I'm just going to do it on my app real quick and show you how quickly we can do that. So this is the Palmation 3.0. This is what it's going to look like on either on your laptop or on your iPhone. So we would just go to Seller, Net Sheet, sale price. I think he has a price in here already. So $262.5. And here's your broker compliance fee. If for any reason you wanted to change it, so let's say you were discounting it some way, and either the buyer's broker fee is 3% and the listing broker's fee is maybe 2 or 2.5%, you can change that right here. But if you want, you can just keep it the way it is. I just want to let you know that there is an option to change it if you need to. Repairs. If the seller had if the appraisal came in and they had to do some repairs, like the appraiser said, well, these windows are a little shaky, the railings needs to be replaced, If there's any additional repairs that you want to let your seller know that it's the approximate cost they'll have to pay, you can put that there. Now you can just leave it blank. But miscellaneous is where we're going to put our seller's concession and our home warranty. So item name, you can just put in here, home warranty. And put $450. And then he has here, let's see, sales concession of $2,500. Continue. And then here, so there's your seller's, those are the seller's concession and the home warranty. Property taxes, I'm going to go to the advanced button because I know what my summer taxes were. And it shows here $3,186. And the winter one would be $1,624. Shows here that we pay our taxes in advance. If you're in different areas where they do it in arrears, then you would click this. But in the areas that we mostly work in, we pay our taxes in advance. And click continue. It doesn't show here, but it will show later on, just so you know. Shows their loan balance. They have a mortgage for $161,248. Now, if they don't know what their loan balance is, it does have a cool tool here. If you go to loan balance, you click the toolbar. If you knew what their loan balance was, so let's say they refinanced about a year and a half ago, and their loan balance was $250, and you know what their interest rate was, and let's say their interest rate at the time was 3.75, it's a 30-year term, and they refinanced 2 years ago. Go back to that. I just want to show you the loan. So we did the loan balance at $161,248. Get that interest rate out. Closing date. Now if you use the toolbar here, it'll say 60 days out or 90 days out. So we'll say 60 days. Click continue, and then click compute. So it shows net at closing $79,426. I'm going to show you all the detailed closing costs, and it shows you all the closing costs. So the title policy off the price of the sale price, which is $262.50. That's your title policy. Your county and state transfer tax. Here's your require fee. $25 fee is to overnight the loan payment to the payoff. Here's your broker compliance fee, and here's your 2 commissions, the home warranty, and the concessions. So I close that. So that's your net sheet. I can send it, or I can save it. And if I send it, this is what it looks like. Now, I can send it via text, email, or I can send it to them like an instant message on Facebook. And also it has different languages I can transfer it into. So if you want to transfer it over to Spanish, Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, Arabic, you can translate it as well. So just here, just change it into Spanish. Right here you can click client info. You can add your client's name, property address. You can actually add photos of the property here. And the notes, what I always put in the notes too, is I will add the, please remember to get a copy of your final water bill within a couple of days of the closing, and I always put the contact information for the water department, like for the Troy Water Department, give them the phone number, let them know they can do it online, so they have all that information right front. That's what it looks like.
What was the name of that app again?
It's Palm Agent 3.0. Now there is one fee. It's totally free just to do the basics, and you can do the basics. Just what I did. I think it's like $11.99 one-time fee to add your photo, your logo, and it has extra marketing pieces that you can add to it as well. And there's different ways to do it too. So there's, I mean, you can do it in different colors, you can do it different ways. There's different graphs on how to show your net seller sheet. And that's basically what they're going to be looking at when they go to closing. And so there's different ways to show them in a net sheet. Wasn't that simple? We're like, it's to the point where like, why would I really need to sit there and write? He wanted me to show you exactly like how to multiply everything and add everything. I'm like, I don't think anybody became a real estate agent so that they can start doing math problems. Because I'll tell you, prorations are very difficult to calculate. And it's our website, and it's our formula. So it's basically what we're going to be providing for you. I wanted to show you another cute, cool tip on this one. If anyone's just asking you, what's my closing fee going to be, or what's my title insurance going to be? If you click on my picture right here, just click here, and see down here where it says see title and escrow rates. If I click that, and if I'm working with a buyer, I'd say, all right, my mortgage, I know I'm getting a mortgage for like $175,000. And if they hadn't done down payment, but you know what their mortgage amount is going to be, so you would just put compute. Right there, it tells you what their title insurance is going to be and how much their closing fee is going to be. Right there. Same thing if you're working with a seller. Because the seller doesn't have a closing cost. So let's say $350. Right there. That's their title escrow fee. Same with the refinance.
My phone is different. It doesn't show compute.
Oh, I'll have to look at yours, but let me see.
Oh, it's the Samsung.
Oh, right here. Done. Compute. So you had to push done, so you're done, and then push compute. Oh, you didn't have a price. So what's the price? So $250. Done. Compute.
Oh, done.
There you go. Mhm. Another way to, if you ever have any title questions, or if you ever just want to contact me, I have a lot of agents who feel like they're with a client, they want me to help them with a net sheet or something, or they have questions about title insurance. If you do click contact, you can either send me an email, or you can send me a text, or it'll call me instantly. So you can just text me information. So just send the information right here. It goes directly to my phone.
So your picture is on all of ours?
If you pick me, yeah.
Ah,
So there, when you go onto your website or when you go onto the app, it'll say which market you're working in. You have to click Capital Title Agent, and it'll say who's your rep. There's like 5 different reps, but you'll recognize my picture. It's just like this, and then just click on my picture. I wanted to show you something else here. When you first start off, so I have it in Oakland County right now, but there's different counties that you can work in because title insurance varies just a little bit in different counties. So if you're here, you would pick either Macomb. If you're working in Macomb, you can push Macomb, and it takes a few minutes to give all the rates up, and then it'll come up with all Macomb.